Hi, this is Candy. It was a gloomy drive over to Wilmington, North Carolina today. I drove from Myrtle Beach, but this is one of my favorite Habitat restores. And I don't know about you, but I always thrift really well on rainy days. So let's go see what we can find. Cups and saucers are definitely a weakness of mine, and if you add it in pink, I definitely have a hard time passing it up. This one was so beautiful. It had a number on the bottom in the gilding. It was only $3, so it definitely had to be added to the cart. This one had a higher price on it. It was $10. Not really my style, and I was looking for my personal collection, so I left that one behind. This one was by Lefton China. I liked the handle on it. I thought that was really unique. This one was so beautiful. I love pink and turquoise together. I think that is such a beautiful color combination. This one was also made in England, like the one I already had in my cart. So we're going to get this one too. These are definitely my style in my color scheme. This one was also really lovely. Almost kind of had a fall look to it. This one was also bone china. But I have one very similar to this that is a Royal Albert teacup that I use quite often, so I decided to leave that one behind. I thought this little teapot was cute, but this miniature or single serve size I don't use very often, so I didn't think that I needed these. I saw this olive wood mortar and pestle, and it was only $4. At first I wasn't going to get it because I have several of these. I even have one that is white marble that is on my countertop that I love, but this one was made in France and I don't have an olive wood one, so I thought that would made it unique and special, so I ended up going back and getting it. This was a beautiful pattern of china. This is by Mikasa. I love these colors and just the shape of the bowl, like the detail around the rim I thought was really pretty. This little picture looked like a house. It was only $1. I think I mentioned before that I do thrift crawls. On the last one, I had a bus of 35 ladies that came thrifting with me. I gave away 50 bags of trivia prizes, and I like to have things like that to put in the bags. This was a beautiful cover dish. I believe this could be a cheese dish or a cover butter dish. I just thought all of the pressed glass work on it was so beautiful. Only $3, so we're gonna get it. If you're interested in my thrift crawls, you can go to my channel. I just wrapped one up over the weekend and posted a reel about it, about a 1.5-minute video, so you can see all the fun that we had on that day. It was absolutely incredible. The small businesses and the vendors go above and beyond to give us amazing deals and giveaways and beautiful food spreads. It's just such an experience and such a lovely way to build community, especially if you're new to the Myrtle Beach area. It was only my second one that I had ever hosted, but I plan on doing them every month because there was such an overwhelming positive response to them, and they're just so much fun, and I love them. Okay, back to the finds because this was an incredible find. It was only $4. Look at this beautiful antique horse. I have a beautiful painting, a Picasso painting over my fireplace, and this is very similar to the horse stance in the painting, so I'm probably going to keep this piece. I also like this turtle. It was $4. I love all the details on the shell, like how realistic it is. That was a beautiful wood piece, so I'm going to get that one too. This bear, when I researched it, it came back saying that it was black onyx. I'm not sure about that, but it could have just been crazed or scratched up a lot, maybe from wear, but it was still a beautiful piece, so we added that to the cart. This one was unique. I love the carving on it too. Not really my style with the dragon, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was, if it was a candle holder or a trinket dish, so I didn't get that one. This was a cute rooster, just from Home Goods, but still a cute piece. These paperweights usually are a weakness of mine as well, but the glass on this one looked a little bit scratched and I wasn't sure what this symbol was, so I ended up not getting those and not getting that little bird. I wanted to check out these figurines because I have passed over a few Hummel Girl figurines like this one. I did get back to that piece, kind of moved the tag out of the way to make sure there wasn't any kind of hallmark, and I pulled up Google Lens, but it was not anything collectible, so I felt okay leaving that one. I liked this vase because look, there was little bows on the sides, but it had a lot of wear, so I didn't think I needed that. This piece was so beautiful. I don't know if it quite captures it on camera. It had like an opalescence type of finish on it. It was so beautiful. From what I saw on the research that I did, this may be something special. I wish that I had Antique Roadshow come through so I could take this piece, but it's going to stay in my collection because it's just gorgeous. I also love wooden boxes. I use these a lot in my vendor booth as risers so I can, do different levels to make the displays more interesting. This box was only $4. It even had a cool wax seal on the bottom, which I thought was a unique touch. So I awkwardly got this piece and put it in my cart as well. These boxes are also really good to have on nightstands. I have one that I put jewelry in. You can always find a use for a good box. I thought this headboard was so beautiful. It's like fit for a princess. Like, how fun are the crystal little knobs on there? That's really pretty. I don't have a need for it. I have all boys, so I don't need it, but I thought it was cute. I also liked all the intricate details on this chair. Look at the feet on that. And it was solid wood. It was $75, which I thought was a great price. Here was my cart so far, and I thought that I was done. But when I was close to the checkout counter, these pieces were sitting on the counter. Come to find out, these are from Tibet. This is an antique prayer wheel, I believe. And this beautiful coffee pot is copper and silver. Look at all of the hand-engraved details on these. They were so beautiful. I also saw this big cart of things they had just brought out. They said I could go through it first and look through it, see what I wanted, and I was thrilled because look at this piece. I was just drawn to the little turtle on there, but come to find out, this is a calligraphy set and it is an antique piece. Again, with all the details and all the carvings, I was just absolutely stunned that I even found it. I also liked these metal pieces. I wonder if this came from the same collector because they all kind of had the same kind of style or motif going on. I just thought these were all so interesting. It was really hard to not take them all. And I'm sorry my hair got into this shot. I was bending over, trying to film, trying to grab the stuff out of this deep cart. I also really like this just for a little catch-all dish. Again, look at all the beadwork on that. Isn't that so interesting? Some of these pieces will be available in my vendor booth if you want to come check them out. I don't know a lot about them. When I tried to research them, I couldn't find a lot of information. But I can definitely appreciate all the work, and they're definitely antique, very unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. Now, also on the counter, I spotted one of my favorite things to find, which is Wedgwood. This isn't overly pricey or overly collectible. I just love it, so I grabbed that little plate too. And this was my cart. I was so thrilled with this haul. This was amazing, so I kept on going. I headed over to the Salvation Army store and kept the ball rolling with more amazing finds. Let's go in and see and check it out. I wanted to mention that this Salvation Army is located in Leland and not Wilmington. It's in a shopping center, just in case you wanted to check it out too. I saw this candy dish, also known as a cake dish, except that it was flash painted, so all of that blue and green would eventually come off, so I didn't get that. This mug was cute. This reminded me of Cypress Gardens in Florida. It's no longer open. I think it's Legoland now. But I used to go to Cypress Gardens as a little girl and love seeing those Southern belles and their big, beautiful dresses. It was so magical. I'm a 6th generation Floridian, and that was one of my favorite places to go. Okay, back to the shopping. I always think I'm going to get lucky someday and just find a whole bunch of Fiesta ware. This was a cool pottery piece in a jar with a lid. It was signed on the bottom. Very abstract and modern. There's the signature there. I didn't end up getting that piece, although it was really cool. This was beautiful. I did buy this. It was $3.99. From what I can tell, it is Murano Glass, and I just love this color of green. That's beautiful. I believe it's just for a votive or a candle holder. I thought these pottery pieces were also really unique, but they were candles and they were newer pieces, not handmade. This was a beautiful glass sculptural vase. Very pretty for $5.99. I don't think this one was handmade either because it looked like there had been a store tag on it before. When I go to this store, I can usually find 1 or 2 pieces that I absolutely love, although the home decor section is pretty small, so I just wanted you to be aware of that in case you make the drive over like me. It's still always worth a stop though. I thought this pottery piece in the back was really pretty with the daisies. This would be good for utensils. I love this speckled kind of off-white color, especially in the fall. I found this wooden Santa. I thought maybe it was handmade. If you can't tell, I love handmade items, but it had a place for batteries, which I couldn't figure out where it would light up. So I left that behind. I do have quite a bit of holiday decor, Christmas items ready to go out in my vendor booth. I'll probably have it all set up and ready when I take my November thrift crawl. And we always start at the location where I have my vendor booth. They have plenty of parking and it's just a great place to start. These turkeys were originally $3 and they had them priced at $3.99, although they still were new in the package. This was a pretty trinket dish. It had a stamp on the bottom. I couldn't quite make it out and I wasn't familiar with this one. It was $2.99, but I have several of these pumpkin trinket dishes and I debated, do I need one more? But I left this one for someone else to enjoy. I sell my filler pretty fast. I usually just let it go with the piece that it's in, but I have thrifted quite a few big pedestal compote dishes and I love to put pretty filler in them just to show it how it could look displayed on your table or in a vignette, and I tend to just let the filler sell with the piece. So I'm always replacing that and that's okay. Celtic items and Irish items do well for me too. I thought these two pieces were cute. I thought maybe this was a butter pad. Have you all seen the crazy mad rush to find butter pads? I have several, but I'm just not looking to expand my collection like I see so many people are. Just that is on the top of their list for their thrift wish list. Okay, so I checked out and got back on the road. I wanted to show you how beautiful this Leland area is. You can drive over one shopping center and I found this place called Farmhouse Kitchen. I had my family with me for the day. They were thrifting along with me, and this was an incredible place. It's big and open, and the food and the service was amazing. It's great if you have a small family or a young family. My kids were able to color with their coloring books, and I consider myself a Reuben connoisseur, and this had one of the best Reuben sandwiches that I have had in a long time. Okay, so now let's head into the Goodwill and check this one out. This Goodwill is located in the same shopping center as the Salvation Army. I love having multiple stops when I go on a thrift day because sometimes you just don't have any luck at the first one, but if you can go to 2 or 3 or maybe 4, usually I can find something. This location doesn't have shopping carts, but they do have baskets, and you know what? Sometimes you just have to take what you can get. I love how organized this store is with their clothes too. I liked this peace sign, and then I turned it over and saw that they marked directly on the pieces with a marker, which usually hasn't been a problem for me. I have used hand sanitizer and that tends to take it off of ceramics. But if you find a piece that has a certain type of coarse texture or porcelain, it can be really tricky to get that writing off. But anyway, let me go back and show you what I found. I liked these mugs, but they weren't handmade pottery, so we didn't need those. Some cute holiday decor. I thought these little plates were cute with the snowmen on it. Some little lanterns. I like these metal art pieces. That owl was cute. So I did buy this hot plate or trivet, and you see where they wrote $2.99 on it. This metal piece, I could not get that off. Even with hand sanitizer, I even tried I heard there was a trick you could write over it with a dry erase marker and then, rub it out quickly, and that didn't work for me either. So I'll just have to keep that one in my collection and maybe put it out for Valentine's Day. That one kind of coordinated with it. It was the same color as the heart. This was a pretty jar, but I believe it was just maybe a candle holder originally. But that was pretty. I spotted these pear candles, and I got the 2 that were the off-white color. They were only $1, and I'll use them for staging in my booth. I am opening a second vendor booth. This one is going to be called Styled by Candy Thrifts, and it's going to be more of like a curated booth where I put together little ensembles, place settings. I style whole areas. I might even do some filming in there. I also need to give you all a tour of my booth. Maybe I'll do that on my next video so you can just kind of see what it looks like. Or if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, you can always stop by and see it. It's at Low Country Treasures on North Kings Highway. I did buy this cute little pink daisy, and I'll show you in a few minutes when I found a decorative plate how I think I'm going to display it. But I just thought that was so cute. Even if you use it to hold napkins or hold a cutting board, there's so much you can do with it. You could use it on your desk to hold pads of paper or Post-its. This was a really pretty jar too. I like the pottery look of that. I almost got these little pears for my kids. They are plastic, but I like having these just for like little breakfast or snacks. And then I found this beautiful compote. This is called the Moon and Stars pattern. I'm not going to leave that bow on there, but look how beautiful this is. This is one of those compotes I was talking about where I would put filler in it. That one's so beautiful. And then I found a decorative plate, and this is how I kind of envision displaying this little, what do you call this? Little napkin holder, the little pink daisy. And this was a Limoges plate. Look at that beautiful gold around the rim. I didn't need the plate. I just bought the little daisy, but that's kind of what I had in mind. I also found this beautiful handmade piece. Look at those handles. I love the braided look of that. It did not have a signature on the bottom, but definitely a handmade piece. I realize I have purchased quite a few pottery pieces in this trip and in my last trip. I don't know if other vendors have felt this, but I have felt an increase in the demand for like organic type of pottery, imperfect pottery, handmade pieces. And I tend to gravitate towards those too. I can definitely appreciate the skill and the time that it took to make something like that. I found this aluminum tray on the bottom. Look at that rooster. That's so cute. I believe that the staining probably would have come off, but there were a lot of scratches and wear on it, so I didn't end up getting that. I think this was originally meant for a desk organizer, but I thought it would be kind of a cool modern propagation station or vase. And this shelf would have been a really nice easel for artwork. I like the scroll work on that. This was a beautiful ombre vase. I love how it goes from white to blue. I did end up getting this just because I love these colors so much. So I checked out and I wanted to show you another place that we went to. This is a railroad museum. It is in Wilmington, and it was such an awesome place. My family loves to go to museums and history museums, art museums, aquariums, all kinds of different exhibits like this. But this place was so much fun. It had a miniature railroad track. Look at how big it is. You could push different buttons and it would make the train go around. It had hot air balloons that would fly above the miniatures. It was just really fun to take a break, especially since it was raining outside. My kids had a great time. So thank you so much for coming along with me. I will see you soon in my next thrifting video.